Pancreatic cancer is often called a silent killer because it doesn't usually cause symptoms until it's quite advanced. But there are subtle early warning signs that people often miss or dismiss. The seventh sign is one you can watch for on a daily basis. Here are the 8 hidden warning signs of pancreatic cancer you need to know. The first sign is itchy skin. We all get itchy skin sometimes. Dry weather, allergies, or a new laundry detergent can be the usual suspects. But what if that itch doesn't go away, and there's no clear reason for it? Persistent, unexplained itchiness, especially in the hands, feet, arms, or legs, can actually be an early and overlooked sign of pancreatic cancer. Here's why. When a tumor blocks the bile duct, bile can no longer flow normally from the liver to the intestines. Instead, it builds up in the bloodstream. This causes a rise in bile salts. And when these bile salts accumulate beneath the skin, they trigger an uncomfortable, sometimes intense itching sensation. This type of itch isn't like a bug bite or a rash. It often doesn't look irritated at first, but it can feel deep, constant, and frustrating. And no amount of lotion seems to help. So if you find yourself scratching often, and you can't explain why, especially if it wakes you up at night or doesn't respond to moisturizers or allergy meds, take it seriously. Your skin might be telling you what your pancreas can't. Itchy skin isn't always just dry skin. Sometimes it's much more than that. The second sign is unexplained weight loss. Let's face it, most of us wouldn't complain about losing a few pounds. But when that weight is dropping without any effort, without changes to your diet or exercise routine, it's time to ask why. Unexplained weight loss is one of the earliest and most common warning signs of pancreatic cancer, and one of the most often overlooked. Here's what's happening. As cancer cells grow, they demand an enormous amount of energy. That energy comes from your body, draining your calories and nutrients, even when you're eating normally. At the same time, pancreatic cancer may interfere with your digestive enzymes, making it harder for your body to absorb fats and nutrients from food. You could be eating enough, but your body isn't getting the benefit. This can lead to a rapid drop in weight, often 10 pounds or more, within just a few weeks or months. So if the number on the scale keeps going down, and you're not trying, don't shrug it off. It could be your body's early warning system. The third sign is loss of appetite. Have you ever sat down for a meal, something you usually love, and just weren't interested? Maybe you felt full after only a few bites, or maybe you skipped the meal entirely without even realizing it. That's more than just a busy day or a change in taste. When it becomes a pattern, it could be a silent signal from your body. Loss of appetite is a common but often ignored early sign of pancreatic cancer. It can sneak in gradually. Meals become smaller. Snacks go untouched. Your cravings vanish. Why does this happen? As a tumor grows in or near the pancreas, it can press against nearby organs like the stomach or intestines. This pressure can make you feel full sooner, even when your stomach is mostly empty. Additionally, cancer-related inflammation can alter hormone levels and disrupt hunger signals sent between your digestive system and your brain. The result? You stop feeling hungry. Food seems unappealing. And over time, this leads to unintentional weight loss, malnutrition, and fatigue. If you find yourself skipping meals, eating significantly less, or just losing interest in food for days or weeks, don't ignore it, especially if it's not typical for you. Your body is trying to tell you something. Listen closely. The fourth sign is abdominal or back pain. Most of us experience stomach aches or back pain at some point, and it's easy to blame it on stress, posture, or something we ate. But some types of pain shouldn't be ignored. A dull, persistent ache in the upper abdomen, especially one that wraps around to the back, is one of the more classic early signs of pancreatic cancer. Why the back? The pancreas is located deep inside the abdomen, tucked behind the stomach and close to the spine. When a tumor begins to grow, it can press against surrounding nerves or organs, sending pain signals not just to the front of your body, but to your back as well. This pain often feels different from typical muscle soreness. It's more of a gnawing, aching, or burning discomfort. And here's something important. It may get worse when you're lying down or after eating, especially fatty meals, because that's when the pancreas is most active. Some people describe it as a band of pain that encircles their body. Others feel it more localized, in the mid-back, just below the shoulder blades. If you've been dealing with recurring upper abdominal pain or unusual back discomfort that just won't go away, or seems to follow meals, don't just reach for antacids or back rubs. Persistent pain is your body's way of asking for help. Don't silence it. Investigate it. If you're finding this video helpful, please like and subscribe. The fifth sign is jaundice. Jaundice is one of the most visible warning signs of pancreatic cancer, and one of the easiest to miss until it becomes severe. Jaundice happens when a yellow substance called bilirubin builds up in your body. Normally, your liver produces bile, which contains bilirubin, and it flows through a duct that passes right next to the head of the pancreas, on its way to the intestines. But when a tumor forms in the pancreas, especially near that bile duct, it can cause a blockage. That bile can't drain properly, so it starts backing up into your system. The result? Your skin and the whites of your eyes may begin to turn yellow, but there are other signs too. Your urine may become dark, almost like cola. Your stools may turn pale or clay-colored, and you may also experience itchy skin due to bile salts building up under the skin. In some cases, jaundice is the first and only noticeable symptom of pancreatic cancer, especially if the tumor is still small but located near the bile duct. Unfortunately, many people delay going to the doctor. They might think they're just dehydrated, or they blame it on liver issues or medication. But jaundice should never be ignored. The sixth sign is new-onset diabetes. Diabetes is incredibly common, especially as we age. But what's not so common is developing type 2 diabetes out of nowhere, especially if you're over 50, and especially if you have no family history of it. This kind of sudden onset diabetes can actually be a warning sign of pancreatic cancer. You see, the pancreas isn't just involved in digestion. It's also where your body makes insulin, the hormone that regulates your blood sugar. If a tumor begins growing in or around the insulin-producing cells, or interferes with the function of the pancreas as a whole, your body may suddenly struggle to manage glucose levels. The result: elevated blood sugar and a surprise diabetes diagnosis. What's even more concerning is that in some people diabetes appears months, or even a year, before the cancer is found. For some, it's the first clue that something more serious is going on. And it's not just the diagnosis. If your blood sugar suddenly becomes difficult to control, or if your usual diabetes management routine stops working, that's another red flag. Of course, not every case of diabetes means cancer, but if you're over 50, recently diagnosed, and experiencing other symptoms like weight loss, fatigue, or digestive issues, it's time to speak up. Your blood sugar is more than just a number. Sometimes it's your body's early warning system. The seventh sign is changes in stool. Let's talk about something a little uncomfortable, but extremely important. Your poop can tell you a lot about your health, including warning signs from your pancreas. One of those signs? Greasy, floating stools that are unusually foul-smelling. This condition is known as steatorrhea, and it's a common early symptom of pancreatic issues. Here's what's happening inside your body. The pancreas makes special enzymes that help break down fats in the food you eat. But when the pancreas isn't functioning properly, like when a tumor blocks the flow of those enzymes, your body can't digest fats correctly. That undigested fat ends up in your stool, making it pale, bulky, oily, or sticky. These stools often float, may be difficult to flush, and leave an oily film in the toilet bowl. And yes, they often smell stronger than usual. Many people think this is just a dietary issue or a one-time thing, but when it happens regularly, it could be a sign that your pancreas isn't doing its job, and that something more serious may be going on. It's one of the few visible signs you can detect on your own, at home. So don't be embarrassed, be observant. If your stools have changed in appearance, smell, or behavior, and especially if this happens often, talk to your doctor. It might feel awkward, but it could be life-saving. The eighth sign is blood clots. When we think about cancer symptoms, we usually think about lumps, pain, or weight loss. But one of the less obvious and potentially dangerous signs of pancreatic cancer is something you might never expect: a blood clot. Pancreatic cancer has been linked to an increased risk of deep vein thrombosis, or DVT. That's a clot that forms deep inside a vein, usually in the legs. It can cause swelling, pain, redness, or warmth, often in just one leg. In some cases, that clot can break loose and travel to the lungs, causing what's known as a pulmonary embolism, which can lead to sudden shortness of breath, chest pain, and even collapse. So why does this happen? Cancer can cause the body to enter a state called hypercoagulability, meaning the blood is more prone to clotting. It's your body reacting to inflammation and cancer cells, even before the cancer has been diagnosed. And here's what makes this scary. Sometimes a blood clot is the first symptom a person experiences before they're ever diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. If you or someone you know has had a clot without a clear reason, no recent surgery, no trauma, no long travel, especially if they're over 50, don't just treat the clot. Ask why it formed in the first place. Your body rarely gives false alarms. A blood clot could be a signal, not just a problem in itself, but a sign of something bigger beneath the surface. Because pancreatic cancer is so aggressive and hard to detect early, awareness of subtle symptoms is crucial. If you or someone you know experiences several of these symptoms persistently, especially in combination, it's a good idea to see a doctor. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.